Hello and welcome to solo playthroughs. So we're going to get our second game of Terraforming Mars on the channel. Now I know some of you might have heard my under the breath remark in my top 10 video or some other things I'm sure I've said over the course of the months and been like, wait, I didn't think Greg liked Terraforming Mars. Now look, in one sense, there's some truth to that. I mean, Terraforming Mars is kind of worn out its welcome for me. Personally, however, that's more as a competitive game than a solo game. I actually find this puzzle and challenge interesting to come back to from time to time. I already put a video on the channel of the normal solo mode that comes with the base game, and I just wanted to get a video on the channel of the Prelude. I don't know what Prelude is. Prelude TR solo special challenge, where the goal is not just terraform Mars in 14 generations, or with Prelude now 12 generations, but to terraform Mars and to get your terraforming rating to 63 in 14 generations. Now you can get the 63 without doing all the terraforming steps, but it really helps to do all the terraforming steps. So generally speaking, you're going to want to get up to 56 by the terraforming steps alone, and then you got to figure out a way to bridge that gap between 56 and 63. And the nice thing about the TR solo mode is that it brings some relevance to some of the cards in the deck that just give you terraforming boosts, but that you wouldn't play in the solo game that comes with the base game. So it does bring a little bit more relevance to those. And, Prelude's a fun expansion. I mean, it really is a nice way to kickstart the game. I played it a ton in 2-player games with my wife, where we just felt the game without it was just a little bit too long for our liking. In 4-player games or in an aggressive 3-player game, I don't find it that necessary. I mean, it does knock a generation off. But in the 2-player games, my wife and I developed strategies that were very much more about building up our little Martian settlements and less about necessarily terraforming, so we could have marathon games. And the Prelude expansion really helped us jumpstart things and make sure we were ending before the end of time. But Prelude, for those who don't know, how it works is during setup, these are handy dandy cards that are dealt out. Every player will get 4 of these. You decide to keep 2. You will see I just go ultra random because it just is what it is for me. I just like the puzzle that is forced upon me, as opposed to me cherry picking the same cards every time, because I know what's good and what's not. I'd rather be forced to play some more of the cards that I own. Otherwise, why do I own them? So, just, I don't know, there's some little deep thoughts by solo playthroughs. Anyway, I am going to shuffle the Prelude cards up. I'm going to take 4, and they will go right there. And I also will randomize my corporation to see who we are playing as today. We are going to be... so other things. So in solo mode, for those who don't know, you don't use the awards, you don't use the milestones. Either obviously, they're not as poignant in the solo game. The other thing is cards that make you steal or lower production of an opponent. You have a mysterious other player that you could always steal from to do what you need to do. There are a couple more steps to set up. The board will start with a couple of cities on it that at least kind of gives a little bit more interest, and sometimes will really get in the way of what you're trying to do. So we'll see that play out as well. My corporation is the Cheung Shing Mars. It is it's actually a Prelude corporation, so that was fortuitous. It is a corporation that you start with 44 money, as well as 3 Mars Euro production. That's really nice. And every time you play play a card with a building tag on it, you pay 2 less for it. And that's actually, you pay 2 less. It's not one of those cards where it's like, when you pay for this, you get this rebate. No, you literally don't. You just don't even have to pay it. I don't know why I took 4 of these, because I just went on the speech about how I don't choose. So yeah, I didn't look at those. I'm just taking the top 2 of those, and we'll see what these are. But first, let's get the rest of the setup done. All right. So again, the normal solo game is up to 14. 14 generations, you have to get the goal done in 14 generation. Prelude makes it 12, and that's for both the TR solo game we're going to be playing today, as well as the original solo game that's in the base game. So if you wanted to do this challenge, the TR solo challenge, you can do it without Prelude, and you would have the full 14 generations. So, you know, there is some variability built into that. Oh, I have, these are just some event cards. It had been a few weeks that I've pulled this game out, so I wanted to quick get a game under my belt. Did not go well. It got close. I got the 61, so, but yeah, wasn't able to pull it out, but just getting some of the rust off. And those are just the events that I had played in that game, where I was Credit Corps, the corporation, where if you spend more than 20 on a standard project or on a card, you get the rebate of 4. Just wasn't able to get enough of those big cards early, I think, to really make that come to shine the way I needed it to, right? So there is our deck. So we're going to take the top 4 cards off the deck, and we are going to do the rest of the setup that is required in a solo game. So first, I'm going to actually put this back. We're going to take that. So we're going to take a city tile. We're going to count to, you skip any placements that wouldn't be legal for cities. So obviously we skip all oceans. So we're going to go 1 and 2, and that city's going to go there. The second is a 10. So we're going to count from the bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Also on the side of the board. So these really won't get in our way that much. Greenery, you're supposed to start in the top left, but obviously we're going to go to the first legal placement and count off 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then we're going to do the last card. It's a 13. Start in the top left and count off legal placements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And you literally cannot get 2 cities more out of the way for us. So if I lose this, city placement will not be a valid excuse. So let's look at our Prelude cards. Our first Prelude card is Metals Company. We start with 1. It's another Prelude card. They're all Prelude cards. What am I talking about? Yes, it's fine. It's been a long day. We're going to start with 1 Mars Euro production, 1 steel production, and 1 titanium production. And then the Omni Contractor. Wow, that's really nice, actually. Raise your terraforming step, rating 3 steps, and draw 1 card. Yeah, that's a pretty magical pull for what we're trying to do here. So let's see how the rest of this game plays out. So you will get that production immediately. So we're gonna take what are we doing? We're gonna take, actually, we'll get our 10 cards and then we'll do that. I mean, that's how you're really supposed to do that in a competitive game. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Because in theory, if this is a competitive game, I would have 4 Prelude cards, my 10 cards, and 2 corporations, and I'd be trying to figure out everything that I want to do and what I want to keep, and then we reveal that one at a time as per a normal game. So here's my 10 cards, and you know, anything that gives me plant production obviously is something I'm going to be looking at. So soil factory is interesting. Obviously, I would need to build a power plant. Hackers, no thanks. Doesn't do anything for me. Adaptation technology, not that worried about it. That Ganymede colony, I mean, I'm actually covering over Ganymede colony with the TR solo little cheat sheet here. Water import from Europa is interesting because we can spend money so it's 12 Mars Euro to put on a water tile, and obviously we need to put out the 9 water tiles like normal, and this also gives us the ability to use titanium to do that. Now it costs 25 to put out, which is pretty pricey, but if you think about how much money we could save on, if you know, instead of doing a standard project for water, you know, if you're spending, instead of spending, you know, 18 a pop, you're spending 12 a pop. Well, 9 times 6 gets you to 72. I mean, even if you want to, you know, not 9 to 54, 9 to 6 gets you to 54. And even if you want to, you know, deduct from that, you know, now you're talking, you're saving, if you don't do any other things to get water, you're saving $48 over the course of the game. So this is a really good value card, even if it is more of a point guard too, because you're getting 1 point per per plutonium tag that you have at the end of the game. So let's put a priority on that one for sure. All right, and also remember, building tags are these are two cheaper. So this soil factory actually only cost me 7 instead of the 9 because of Cheung Shing Mars. However, it will cost me something to get this production up and then lose that. So there is a sunk cost there too that we need to be aware of. Arctic algae. So if I put this in play, every time I place a water hex, I get 2 plants. Not the worst. So intrigued. So this is cloud seeding is going to be an interesting card because it gives me 2 plant production. I can reduce any heat production, so I can again do it from the magical mystery player who's actually not sitting here. So I don't hate it. These are all pretty decent cards. Plantation requires 2 science tags. I do not have any science tags on my Prelude cards or my corporation, so that's probably not something I should be looking at right now. Interesting. This requires 2 science tags too. But this would be the energy production I need, but I don't think those science tags are going to be in the cards. And this is just a really expensive card. You're placing 1 water hex. I like the 2 cards and the 5 plants, but if I'm going to go to the water strategy from water import from Europa, which I think is going to be more cost effective, and a lot easier to get out, I'm going to skip the large convoy. All right. So this would be an interesting strategy if we don't worry about the plant tags too much. We know that don't worry about the plant production too much. We know that if I put this out over the course of getting basically this Arctic algae, I'm going to put these 9 tiles out at some point. So this is basically the equivalent of 2 plant hexes, right? So this would be basically equivalent to 2 plant hexes for 12, as opposed to 2 plant hexes for 46, right? So there's definitely some value in that card. I really do like the soil factory. I'm just not sure if I want to. If I look at that cost as 20 as opposed to just 9, that changes some things. Cloud seeding might make some more sense where I can just do this later, especially since I don't have to worry about losing that heat production because I could take it from any other player who is clearly my best friend. So we're going to take those 3. So now we can do everything else that we were going to do. So my corporation is Cheung Shing Mars. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. If somebody wants to give me a better pronunciation in the comments, that would be amazing. I am going to take, so it's 44 minus 9. So I'm going to get 35 money. This is going to go here. Then we're going to get 3 Mars Euro production. Metals Company gives us an additional Mars Euro production, 1 steel production, 1 titanium production, and then the Unme contractor gives us 3 more to our terraforming rating. It'd be helpful if I had that. So even though we only have 12 generations, and this is here to mark the number of generations we have, you still start on 14 for your terraforming rating as a normal solo game, right? So we're going to get the 3 more to our terraforming rating, which is really nice. And then we're going to draw a card. And we get soul. Oh, that is just like a beautiful card for us. Cool. So we have everything we're going to get at this point for the first generation. So we can start going through the action phase of that first generation. So the couple things that I want to do. I think I want to get this out already. Touch bananas. So I can't put this in play until after it crosses minus 12, right? So, but I do think that this makes some amount of sense. This doesn't make sense. This makes some sense. All right, let's do it. We're gonna go with this strategy whole hog. So we're gonna do 25 for that. It doesn't have a building tag, so it's gonna cost every bit of the 25. And now we have our import from Europa in play. All right. The next thing I want to do is get this card in play. Or you know what? Actually, this is silly because I'm about to get. I don't know why there are ones in there. All right. we're about to get a titanium. Yeah, but it really doesn't matter because I'm going to want to use it for the thing anyway. It doesn't matter. I changed my mind. I changed my mind about changing my mind. Figure that out. So, I mean, really, the Prelude cards did enough for us at this point by just giving us that Mars Euro bump, I'm sorry, Terraforming Rating bump and the Mars Euro bump. So we're going to be getting a lot of money. So we're going to call this a generation. Obviously didn't do much. And then we're going to, yeah, I don't want to waste my money on this just yet. This is the strategy that I've adopted. So, you know, it's going to take it to its logical conclusion. We're going to go to the production phase. Production is going to be 17 plus 4, so 21. We're going to get 1 building, 1 titanium, and that's that. That's the end of the generation. So we go to generation 2. We're going to take the top 4 cards, just like a normal game. So strip mine, we need to lose 2 energy. We get 2. Ooh, this is actually interesting. We get 2 steel production, 1 titanium production, and we get to raise the oxygen twice. Don't hate that. Adapted leech-in, sabotage, ecological zone. Those are not gonna be that useful, but that could really help that strip mine, especially if we want to get that titanium up to really help do the import from Europa. I like it. We're going to do that. So that's going to cost me 3. So I'm going to put the 10 in, and I'm going to get 7 back in Mars Euro denominations. All right. So now what are we going to do? We're going to play solar power. Nope, not. We're going to play Arctic algae. So another blue card. And again, remember, this is once a generation, this water import from Europa. So Arctic algae is going to cost us 12. So I'm going to put in 10 plus the 1 steel. Nope, I can't put the steel in. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing for a while. So we're going to put the 10 and the 12. So the 12 Mars Euro. And now that's in play, right? We get 1 plant as part of playing that card, which is cool. And then what I want to do is spend this next turn. Yeah, I like that. So I'm going to, I need to raise my energy twice. Rough. Remember, buildings cost me 2 less, so that's something I want to be looking at right now. So I'm going to play solar power. Yeah, it's going to knock off 2. I think it's worth it. So I'm going to play solar power for 9, because again, my corporation says it's cheaper. I'm going to put this up a little higher because I'm going to need the room. All right, so that's going to cost me 9. So that's that. I get 1 back, and then my energy production goes to 1, and that's the end of my round. So end of the generation, we do production. My production is going to be 21 still, so I get these and this. We get a building. Or we get a steel, we get a titanium, and we get an energy. Go to the 3rd generation, we look at the top 4 cards. Imported nitrogen, grass, let's play that one, it's -16. Demos down, raise the temperature 3, get 4 steel, and to remove the 8 plants from another player. I like that one for sure. And then fuel generators, yes. So I'm going to get the fuel generators, they're going to cost me 3. Which is great. Now I'm going to, they actually are free, because when I pay a building, when I play a building tag, I pay 2 less for it. So this costs me 1. So I just put this out for free. I'm going to lose 1 Mars Euro production, but I gain the energy production that I needed. Right? That's great. Now I'm going to play strip mine. This is going to cost me, it's cost 25, but because of my corporation, it's going to cost me 23. So I'm going to spend these 2 steel. So that's going to give me, reduce the cost down to 19. And so I'm going to put these 2 in. I'm going to take $1 rebate because I put 20 in for my more zero collection. And then that's going to go here. Now what happens is I lose 2 energy. I'm going to gain 2 steel production, and I gain 1 in my titanium production, and I get to raise the oxygen twice, which is raises my terraform rating twice because I have done something to terraform Mars. Additionally, I'm going to place my first water hex, right? So I'm going to take advantage of this once a generation thing. I'm going to take these 2 titaniums, so that's 6 money worth of titaniums, and I'm going to spend, because I can use titanium when I'm doing this water import from Europa, and I'm going to spend my 6 in Mars Euro, and that's going to be the 12 I need as per that action to place a water hex. I'm going to put the water hex here. It's going to give me 2 more titanium, and that raises my terraform rating because, again, I did something else that terraformed Mars. Titanium. Cool. So we go to the production phase. In the production phase, I'm going to get 20 plus 3, so I'm going to get 23. We are going to get 3 steel. We're going to get 2 titanium. And the energy goes to the heat and no more production for me. All right, so I have this access for the next generation. Speaking of which, let's go there. 4th generation, the top 4 cards. It is the lava tube settlement. So that's just placing a city. That's not really that helpful. Placing another city, not that helpful. Ooh, raising the heat production could be helpful, and that. So this is all going to go out. Keeping micro mills for 3. I'm going to build it for 3, so I get 7 back. Which raises my heat. As I raise my heat, oh, sorry, which raises my heat production, right? Not the heat on Mars. Cool. I am going to spend my 4 titanium to do my once a generation action on water import from Europa. I'm going to add a water hex. There, I terraform Mars, so I get a terraform rating bump, and I'm going to take 2 plants. And actually, I'll use this one here. I think it's a little bit more logical. Yeah, I'll probably stay north of, the big lake in the middle there. So my next thing I want to do thinking about the number of generations left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I basically don't want to ever use a standard project for water, and I'm probably not going to keep any cards that are going to give me water hexes because I can do this. I'm going to get 6 money toward water every round, which is really nice. And then I'm going to get that free water when I get to the top of the heat. So there's really no reason to do anything related to take any cards related to water, right? So I'm really now looking at what else do I need to be doing here. Oh, and I've been cheating myself. So once I put 2 water hexes out, it's because of Arctic algae. I get 2 plants per, and that I'm going to put in 1 plant and get take a 5. So I have 7 plants total. One of the nice things about Terraforming Mars in a solo game is you can always kind of reconstruct. Like if you're not sure if you're right in the terraforming rating, we'll just count how many terraforming steps have been done, and plus the terraforming rating bumps that you might have elsewhere. So you can usually reconstruct the game if you want to check your work, so to speak. All right. I'm tempted to raise the heat because I want to start working toward that. If I get 3 heat production a round, that will really help. Just kind of, get me 4 or 5 more steps up there without much extra cost. So let's do that. I'm going to spend 15 to make an asteroid hit Mars, which will raise the temperature of the atmosphere, which is going to give me a terraforming rating bump. All right. So enemy phase. I am not playing Ark. I've played a lot of Arkham lately, if you can't tell. production phase. We're not in the enemy phase. It's like action phase, enemy phase, upkeep phase. Let's just go right to upkeep phase. All right. So we're gonna take our money. So it's 22 plus 3. So we're taking 25. We're gonna get 3 steel. We're gonna get 2 titanium, and we're gonna get 1 heat. End of the generation, we go to generation 5. We're going to pick 4 cards. So insulation, not feeling it. Lightning harvest needs 3 science tags, and I have 0, so I'm not going to start chasing that. Shuttles, when I play a space card, I pay 2 less for it. Probably not going to have enough space cards to make that worth it, and I don't need anything related to money. So kind of a bust of cards, which is fine. Let's do our once a generation thing so we don't forget. We're going to spend 6 Mars Euro plus 2 titanium to do that. So I'm going to place a water hex. When I place a water hex, I get a terraform rating bump and I get 2 plants. So I'm going to place this here. So since it's adjacent to another ocean hex, I get 2 money. And then the placement bonus that's on there is I get 2 plants. Right, so yeah, for example, so I placed 3, 4, 5, 6, and I started with 3, so I should be up 9 on my terraform rating. Yep, I'm up 9 on my terraform rating, right? Because I had again the 3 from the starting card, and then 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What did I do? 3 from my starting card, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know what crazy math I did the first time I was trying to prove my point here. But the second time that was the correct math. I can play cloud seeding. That's probably smart. I'm not doing much else this turn that I can see. So there are 3 water hexes, so the prereq is met. So I'm going to spend the 11. So it's just 11 in Mars Euro because there's no building tax, so I can't use my steel. I lose a Mars Euro production, which is fine. I can steal heat from whoever I want, and then I'm going to add 2 to my plant production, which obviously I'm going to need. I'm going to spend my 8 plants to place a plant hex. I'm going to place that there. The placement bonus there is 2 plants. I'm going to get 4 money because it's adjacent to 2 distinct water hexes. The oxygen goes up and the terraform rating goes up, and I'm going to claim this as my own. Now, all future greenery tiles that I need to put down need to be connected to that tile, right? So, or it has to be connected unless I put a city down somewhere else. But generally in a solo game, once you kind of stake your claim, you're probably not going to have the resources and the time to, time from a game perspective to actually put some cities out, especially early. So you really are locking yourself in. So the way I'm trying to develop this is just try to maximize these plant bonuses and maximize the bonuses for placing next to ocean hexes. And again, where these original cities got placed was really helpful because clearly they're not going to get in my way if I'm really trying to maximize this area over here, right? So I will raise the heat one more time. I mean, the earlier you can do the raising the heat thing, I mean, you're getting a little bit of a rebate because again, I'm getting 1 more Mars Euro every generation. But obviously, it's not. I'm spending 14 to get 1 back the next generation. But over the course of this game, if I do it earlier, I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm basically getting it for half price by doing this early, right? So I'm going to spend the 15, get 1 back to have an asteroid hit Mars, and I raise my terraform rating 1 more time. All right, I'm going to go to the production phase. We're going to get the 25 for my terraform rating plus the 2 for my money production. So then it was nice to have that money production bump early because now it's less painful that I'm kind of giving it away to do other things. So that's 27 Mars Euro. I'm going to get 3 steel. I really hope I get some buildings that take advantage of that because I'm sitting on 18 worth of steel. And then I'm going to get 2 more plants because I finally have some actual plant production. And we're going to get our 3rd heat. We're going to go to generation 6. We're going to take top 4 cards. So nuclear zone. I know the minus point cards I kind of stay away from in solo games. They just feel like so cheaty. This satellite's not that great. That's just a point grab. Ooh. Copy something. Can't copy that. Oh, like this isn't even a building tag. 9 to get an energy. Alright, none of that's great. Unfortunately, I'm not getting great cards. So we're just relying on standard projects right now, which I think is fine. So what am I gonna do? We're gonna do this. We're gonna get this 6 and this 6 to place a water hex. So we get a Terraforming Rating bump for this water hex right here. I'm going to place this there. I'm going to get 2 money because it's adjacent to a water hex, and then 2 plants. Alright, so that water import from Europa was nice. Oh, and since I placed another water hex, guess what? I get 2 more plants because of the Arctic algae. So you're seeing how this engine came together pretty decent for me so far. I'm going to spend these 8 plants. That is 8. I'm going to put them away. I'm going to get a greenery tile. I'm going to put that here. I'm going to get 1 plant because that's the placement bonus. And then I'm going to get 4 money. Oxygen is going to go up. And my terraforming rating is also going to go up. So that's been working out decently well for me. All right. What else do I want to do? Definitely want to raise the heat, so I'm going to spend 14 Mars Euro to have an asteroid hit the planet. I raise my terraforming rating, and since I hit that bonus there, I'm going to get a bump to my heat production. And I'm going to do it again. So 15, I'm going to get 1 back. This goes up, this goes up. All right, so we can confirm. So there's 4 hexes, so that's 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus the 3, so I should be up 15. I started at 14, I'm now at 29, so we are good. So let's go to production. Production is 29 Mars Euro plus the 2 production here, so 31. So the numbers are starting to go up a wee bit, which makes mouths happy. I don't know. Twizzlers, man. Come on, Twizzlers is on the mind. I haven't had a Twizzler in a long time. Long time, man. That commercial. The commercials you see as a child and the indelible impact they have on you as you get older. So all the production is done. We are going to go to generation 7. So we only have 6 more generations left to make some magic happen, right? So I'm going to pull the optimal air every time, whatever. Optimal arrow breaking. Every time you play a space event, you get 3 Mars Euro and 3 heat. Max 18 degrees. I could play that. Don't see a major need to. It's increases my plant production 1 step. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Open city. Cities are definitely not my jam right now. And fish. This is 12 garbage cards in a row. This is one of the reasons that I think I enjoy Terraforming Mars more solo, because it's so tilting when you just get 4 generations in a row of garbage and your opponents get like, now some of these cards obviously in a competitive game aren't garbage. I mean, it does change your strategy and what you're looking to do, but you know, when you just get those runs and you're not getting the cards you really want or the cards that really work with what you're trying to do, it's a little frustrating. So at this point, I'm just hoarding all this steel and like hoping against hope that something clicks. I mean, you know, honestly, I have so much steel. Let me take this back for a second. I have so much steel, it almost makes the open city not crazy. The reality, though, is I don't have... I would need to build the... I would need to do the power plant. It gives me 4... Could put it wherever I want, which would give me some more options for later placement bonuses. Because you think about it this way, right? if I spend 3 to keep this, and then 11 to build the power plant, so I would ultimately be spending 14, and it's actually going to cost me 21. Yeah, I haven't built the building thing in forever. So 21, I clearly have it. So it basically be costing me 14 to put this out. It raises, because between the 11 I would need to spend on the power plant as well. It raises my Mars Euro production. It paid for itself in 4 rounds, and then also give me 2 more plants. I'm at this point, I'm just kind of at a loss of what else I might want to do here. I'm gonna keep it. Gonna keep it. All right, so that costs 7. All right, let's see how this could work. So here's my 1 card in my hand. Let's do the Mars water import from Europa anyway. Or not anyway, first. We're definitely doing it. So this comes on the board. I'm going to get a plant, 2 money, and then because of Arctic algae, I'm going to get 2 more plants, right? I'm going to then play the power plant. So this goes up. And then I'm going to spend 21. So this is going to be, I'm not even going to get change here. So I'm just putting 11 of these in. Again, it's only 21, not 23 because of my corporation. So I'm going to put 11 of these in. That's 10. That's 11. So 5. That's 10. That's 11. So that's 22 worth of steel. I'm going to put this in play. That reduces my energy. I get 4 Mars Euro. So I get up to 6. I'm going to get 2 more plants. And I get to place a city wherever I want, as long as it's not adjacent to another city. So I will put this here. Right, and now I can put a greenery tile next to that because, you know, I'm not, as like greenery tiles just need to the greenery tiles just need to go next to something that a tile that you own, and I clearly own that tile. So that gives me a little more freedom to make better placement choices. So I'm going to spend these 8 plants. That's 8. I'm going to put this here. And that's going to get me a plant and 6 money for placement bonuses. Again, there's 3 water hexes there. And the oxygen goes up, and my terraforming rating is also going to go up. All right, so that was nice. I'm going to spend the 14 it takes to raise the temperature. That goes up, so that goes up. And when that goes up to that spot on that track, I get another heat production. So I'm going to start being able to get a little bit more done here. More organically. And I think we're good. So, I mean, the reality is, by the time we finish terraforming everything, we're going to be at 59. So the question is, can I bridge that gap? Now, the one thing I didn't mention early that I probably should have is that there's a new standard project in the TR solo game, and it's called Buffer Gas. Now, Buffer Gas is you pay 16 Mars Euro to raise your terraforming rating 1 step. All of the rules apply as normal for a solo game of Terraforming Mars. So really, what that gap amounts to being for me right now, it's going to be a total of 64 Mars Euro that I'm going to need lying around to basically do the standard project of the buffer gas to increase my Mars Euro or my terraforming rating just by paying for it, right? So it's a nice challenge, like how, you know, hey, can you terraform Mars, but did you do it that your corporation leaves you the resources left to bridge that final gap, right? So that is going to be the end of the generation actions for me. So I'm going to do production now. So 31 plus 6 is 37. That's 30. So here's 2 and a 5. So it's 7. We get 3 more steel. Get 2 titanium. 2 plants, and 3 heat. We go to the next generation, so we go to 8. The pressure's on, so we got magnetic field dome. I need the -2 energy is kind of a non-starter, although I mean, crazy enough, it is a terraforming rating, but honestly, I can get a terraforming rating for 16, which is a lot less than it would cost to raise my energy production twice, right? So no way I'm lowering my heat production. Early in the game, this might have been really great, but now it's like, nah, that's a non-starter. I still have 14 steps to go up that chart. That's useless, and yeah, the aquifer pumping. So once again, we get squadoosh. Gross. All right. So what are we doing? We're gonna do our first action, as always, is gonna do the water import from Europa. So that places a water hex. It's gonna make my terraforming rating go up, and I'm gonna get 2 plants. I'll take that now before I forget. And this is gonna go here, and I'm gonna get 1 plant and 2 money for placement bonuses. All right. Cool. I'm going to spend these 8 plants, right, to go here. Now I have 2 real options. I can go here and get the 4 money bump, or I can set myself up that I can go down in this corner and get some serious money bumps or money placement bonuses. So I'm going to do that. So this is going to go here. Again, it has to go adjacent to one of my own greenery tiles. I get 2 money from being next to the water tile, 1 plant for the placement bonus. This goes up and this goes up, and I claim that. All right. So that is done. I'm going to spend the 8 heat I have. So that's going to go in. We're going to raise the temperature, get a terraforming rating bump. So I just want to keep doing that is really the question right now. So there's not going to be another great way for me to be getting those heat bumps. Realistically, I'm going to only get 1 more out of this, and I'm going to have to pay for the rest of it. Well, I can get once I get that up there, that'll be nice as well. I could let me do the standard project for the greenery, because I think that's going to make some sense. Yeah, because then I'll be able to do it. Because if I do that here, I get the 2 plants, and then I'm going to produce 2 plants, and then I'm going to place a water hex to get another 2 plants. So it's going to set me up to a little bit better. So I'm going to spend a 23 for a greenery. This is going to go here. All right, so I'm going to get 2 plants and 6 money. This goes up and this goes up. Then I'm going to spend 14 to have an asteroid hit the planet. So raise the temperature to -16. That goes up and that goes up. And that's all she wrote. So let me check again. So there's going to be 7 from there. And I got 2 oxygen production steps from, I think it was a strip mine. So plus the 5 greeneries. So 7 from there. I've done 6 of there. So that's 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, plus the 3 I started with. So 14 plus 23. 7, 14 plus 6, 20. Yeah, I definitely missed it. When I edit, I'll find out where I missed it, but I definitely missed a terraforming step at some point, because there's no way that I would be there, because again, it's 14 to 27. It's a difference to 23. 37 is 23, and we could account for 23 jumps easy just looking at it too, because it's the 3 from the contract, the 7 from the oxygen, the 7 from the water hex, the 6 from the water hexes, and the 7 from the heat track. Yeah, 7 here, 7 there, 6 here, 3 there. So that's 23. So we're good. We should be at 37. All right, glad I caught that now. I wonder how, I'm assuming that happened this generation, but maybe I hurt myself last generation, so we'll see. Let's keep moving. So we're going to go at the end of the generation. We're going to do production. So we have 37 plus the 6. So I'm going to get 43 in production. I'm going to put in 2 and take 45. See that the money really starts to jump in a solo game. So we can get 3 steel. Hopefully we have a chance to use them. We're going to get our 2 titanium, which we're going to keep needing for the strategy, which we went with really early. We get the 2 plants and the 3 heat. All right, we go to generation number 9. We are going to pull. We get Heather, not useful really. I mean, it's a plant production. I don't think that's going to be my biggest issue. It's only 6 though. Maybe. The point card, talent tardigrades. Ooh, hello. Hello, my little friend. That's the one. The question is this worth 9? It's going to be 3 to keep. Heather is like the one. I'm really kind of debating. I just don't know if it's worth the 9 it would cost. I only have 7 more to do. 3 generations. Don't know how much that 1 plant production is going to help, even if it gives me the 1 plant now. I know I'm getting 6 more plants because of those, because of Arctic algae, so I'm going to pass on that. But this one, this is the one. So standard technology. It's almost like it's like such a great card for this challenge. So I'm gonna play it right off the bat. It costs 6. So I'm gonna put in a 10 and take 4 back. So standard project, after you pay for a standard project, including the buffer gas, you get 3 back, right? It's nice little rebates. You have to have the money for it, but then you get that money back. So I'm going to do my water import from Europa. So that is the 6 in titanium and the 6 in Mars Euro. This is going to come on the board. I'm going to get 2 plants because of that. Because of Arctic algae, I'm going to place this next to this. I'm going to get 2 money and another plant. All right, and then my terraforming rating goes up. I'm going to put spend 8 plants. Ooh, do I want to? Yeah, I'll play the 8 plants. I'll put this here. So oxygen goes up, terraforming bump goes up, terraforming goes up. Terraforming rating goes up. It's a terraforming rating bump. That gives me a heat bump, which gives me another terraforming rating. I'm going to put this here, which is giving me a plant and 4 money. 1 plant. I'm going to take a Mars Euro, put that back, and put a 5 there to make some change. And that goes there. All right, so that was a nice quick 3 terraforming rating increase. Yeah, the standard tech really helped, but still feel like I'm coming up short here. Mars, water. All right, I'm going to spend the 14 for the asteroid. So there's a 14, but because of standard project, again, when I'm done spending it, I'm going to get a rebate of 3. So heat goes up, terraforming rating goes up. I'm going to do that again. I'm going to spend the 14. So there's actually 15, but I'm going to get a rebate. So I'm going to put in 15 and get 4 back. Heat goes up, terraforming rating goes up. And then I'm going to do it one more time. I'm going to put 14 in, 3 comes back. Heat goes up, terraforming rating goes up. All right, so we went up a ton. So we'll count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Plus 8 is 19. Plus 7 is 26. Plus the 3 is 29. So I should be from 14. I should be up at 43, which is exactly where I am. Cool. We were right. We were right one generation. So at least we have that. At the end of this round, man, I just the lack of good build structures is really kind of taking its toll, I think. But we'll see. We might be able to pull this off anyway. So we have our production because we started so awesome, like really awesome. And this has kind of worked out exactly as I hoped. So it's just been the rest of it that hasn't really come together. So, but still a little bit of time. So we're at 43. 43 plus the Terraforming Mars Euro production of 6 gets us up to 49. So I'm going to put in a 1 and just take 50. All right, so we're getting, remember, we're going into generation 10, so we have 10, 11, and 12. So we still have a quarter of the game to go. And you look at the amount of production that we have compared to where we started, you kind of see how this thing escalates. I mean, this one of the reasons I really like the solo game is it really brings out the engine building that I think sometimes gets lost in the competitive game, in all of the organized chaos. So we go to generation 10. We're going to draw 4 cards. Garbage. I mean, that could have been a card to build around early had we had it. We get to really try to get energy cards and to get a titanium. So it's an ore processor. You can turn 4 energy into a titanium and an oxygen bomb. Capital is just useless, and asteroid mining is just a little late for some asteroid mining, dude. So, all again, what are we gonna do now? All right, let's spend. So here's the reality about the watering pot from Europa. We're only gonna do it one more time, and then we're done because the last water hex is gonna come from there, right? So let's do it. We're going to spend the 2 titanium and the 6 Mars Euro. That's going to allow us to place a water hex, which allows us to go have our terraform rating go up. And we place a water hex, we get 2 plants. And I'm going to place this water hex here, which gives me 2 more plants. All right. We are now going to spend these 8 plants. And 2 more plants from the articology, and then 2 plants from the placement bonus. I'm going to play these 8 plants. We're going to place this here. Oxygen goes up. This goes up. Placing it right in between those 3 water hexes. So I get 6 money because of the 3 water hexes, and then 2 plants as a placement bonus that was on the board. And then I'm going to put my little handy dandy thing here. Wow. Okay. So the heat, we have 1 heat coming from here. I think we're going to have to buy the rest of it. We know we're not getting any more plants we're going to get 2 more plants from this, right? So there's a production issue with the plants. I mean, in some ways it's like this weird place where we might be more effective just to spend the 16 to bump that up as opposed to doing the standard project of placing a greenery tile, but it's just so much prettier when all the greenery is on the board. So we're going to spend the 14 for the standard project of the heat. We're going to get 3 back because of standard technology, and that goes up, and this goes up. I think I keep doing that. Yes, we're going to spend the 14 because of we're going to pay the standard project of an asteroid. We're going to spend the 14. We get 3 back because of standard technology. This goes up. This goes up. We're going to spend the 14. Do it again. I'm going to get 4 back because I was paying 15. So 4 back. This goes up and this goes up. And then let's do it one more time. We're spending the 14. We get the 3 back because of standard technology. This goes up and this goes up. This allows me to play a water hex, which means this goes up again. I will place this huge Yeah, here, give me the 2 cards. Worst case, I can turn them into money by selling patents. We get birds. Bushes. Bushes are nice. Bushes are nice. I'm going to sell patents with the birds. Just give me a card. A thing. And then I'm going to play the birds, the bushes, for 10. This goes in play. It gives me 2 plants. And gives me 2 production. Oh, when I place that water hex, I also get 2 plants because of Arctic algae. So that's the end of that. So we get 9. So the 29, 24 plus that 9, so 33 plus that 3, so 36. So yeah, we're at 50. We're exactly where we're supposed to be. Tons of steel, which is gross. Can't build anything else, so I think that's just the end of the round. All right, so we'll go through production. So we go 50 plus 6, so we're gonna get 56 money. Again, we have to get to 63. We have 2 more generations to do it. So 50, 6 money, 3 steel, so gross. 2 titanium, 4 plants. I'm going to put in a 1 and take a 5, and 4 and 3 heat. I'm about to max that out, which is ridiculous. We're going to go to generation 11. We're pulling our 4 cards. Dust seals, max 3 things. We wouldn't want that anyway. These are great point cards, man. If I was playing competitive, I would be thrilled. Geothermal power would have been awesome early. Don't see how that helps us now. If we raise it, if we get production, it'd still be energy, not heat, so that's useless. And decomposers is also not helpful. Wow. Okay. So what am I gonna do? I'm gonna spend. There's 8 of these plants. So place a greenery here. Oxygen goes up. Terraforming rating goes up. I'm going to nestle this greenery tile right in there. That's going to give me 4 money and 2 plants and place some bonuses. So 1, 4, 2 plants. We're going to spend 8 heat. To raise this, which raises this. I'm going to have to pay for the rest of it because there's just not enough. I'm not going to have enough generations to get more heat, and clearly the cards have not been the most cooperative. So I'm spending the 14 for this. I'm going to get a 3 rebate to raise the heat, to raise this. I'm going to spend the 14 again. I'm going to get 3 rebate to raise this, to raise this. It's weird, like going up and down, like next to each other. I'm going to spend the 14 one more time, and we'll just max out the heat and not have to worry about it. And the 3 rebate to raise this, to raise that. So the only thing, so we know we're going to have 1 more greenery. I really want to get to 14 just because I do. And I'm gonna get money rebates the whole time too. So I mean, in a way, like, it's 16 only costs 13, so there is that. But the I should probably go. Yeah, I should probably go along that way. There's no way I'm getting 8 more plants from placement bonuses. So the question is, do I spend the 23, which will ultimately be 20? It's 14 left there. It's not enough to do the buffer gas. That we spending a lot. It's a lot. I'm not sure I can afford it, even with the buffer gas, to be honest with you, though. Alright, let's do it. I'm going to spend a 16 for the buffer gas. That means I get 3 back because of the standard technologies. And just raising my terraforming rating. I'm going to spend the 16 again. And I get the 3 back because of standard technologies. So put them right back where they were. And I'm going to raise my terraforming rating because of the buffer gas again. Alright. End of the round, we're going to end of the generation, I should say. We're going to do our standard, our production. We're going to get 57 plus 6, so 63 money. I'm going to put 2 in and take 65. I'm going to add to my mountain of steel. I get 2 titanium. We get, put 1 in and take 5 plants because I was getting 4, and then we get 3 more heat. We are in the final generation. So what gorgeous cards are we going to get? We get research, counts as playing 2 science cards, draw 2 cards. Tags, mine, I can increase my steel production. Pretty sure we're good there. I can get port of hydrogen. Whoa. Nothing. Squadouche all the way. So let's see. I'm just gonna have to buy it if I can. One of the things I guess I could have done, because that was what, 2 generations. I probably could have been a little less bullish with my steel and just I could have done alternate generation because then I have 12 more money. We'll see if it comes back to bite me. So I'm gonna do this. So that's 16. I'm gonna get a rebate of 3, raising the terraforming rating. I'm gonna do it again. 16. Get a rebate of 3, raising the terraforming rating. 16. So I'm gonna put in 21. Can I do it the hard way? I want to do it the hard way. I want all the plants. So we're doing this. I spent my 8 plants. I'm gonna put the greenery on the board because I might as well. So it has to go next to a something I own. So I'm gonna put this here, and I'll put it here. Nah, it doesn't matter. Put it here, and it just gets 2 money. Oxygen goes up, terraforming rating goes up. We have 3 away, so we actually have it the easy way. Kind of tempted. If I spent the 23 to be 20, and I get 4 money back, and I spend 16, 3 money back. Yeah, I don't think I can. I don't think I can do another single greenery. This is 23. I get 3 back. That raises it to 21. Then I do 16. I get 3 back. That raises it. Whatever. And if even when I place that, I get another 4. I would literally have 13. But you actually need the full 16 to get the 3 back because it's standard technology. So we'll go the cheap way. We're going to spend the 16. We're going to get 3 back. And we're going to raise that. And then we're going to do it one more time, spending 16. So I'll spend 21. I'll get 5 back. Oh, 5 back. That doesn't help. I spent 21. I'm getting 5 back. That's still 16. I should get 3 more back. Yeah, I don't know what I just did with math. That goes up to 62, and then I'm going to spend 16 and get 3 back. And that gets us up to 63. So we did it, which is great. It's cool. It's a fun little challenge. It's a puzzle. I don't know how I do it without that. I think that if you really add up the number of times I use that standard technology card, I probably saved somewhere around 50, 60 resources. Um, nah, probably around 30, probably like 30 resources. But again, there's a trade-off, right? Had I got another card early that I could make use of some of this steel, like I don't need I don't need that card. Um, just the water worked out for me. I had the plants I just had because for the most part because of that Arctic algae, so that was a nice combo. But would have really liked, I mean, a card like Methane from Titan, would have been nice. I mean, the heat production and the plant production. I don't know. It's hard to say. What a food factory would have been a no-brainer because I could have just got it for free plus the 4 Mars Euro production. But yeah, I just did not get a lot of cards giving me production early. Again, I think the big strategy mistake I made, if there is one, based on what I was working with, was it was a mistake. I should have realized the tempo that I was at, and I could have made much more use of my titanium. So, because I really didn't need to do that every round. I mean, I could have spent, I could have alternated rounds the last 4 rounds and then made sure I was really maximizing my titanium production, which, yeah, I'm getting, if I had staggered a little bit, I do lose a little bit in Terraforming Rating production, but I'm gaining that back plus some by being more efficient with my titanium. Because remember, every one of these counts as 3 of those, right? So that's a much better bang for your buck, even if you are, slowing up your Terraforming Rating bumps. So yeah, I think I probably did. Well, I can count exactly. So I was 3 shy here, which means I did 7 of the buffer gas standard projects, right? So if you think about that, 7 times 16, what's that? 112. So I got a rebate every time, so it's 21 off. I spent 91 Mars Euro just on buffer gas in those last 2 generations. But that's that. I hope this was helpful and informative. I know like so many people love this game and so many people have a reason to be playing solo more now than they might have in the past, and hopefully that is rectified in your neck of the woods, and hopefully that'll be rectified in my neck of the woods very soon as well. But yeah, I mean, it's a nice, cool change of pace. Doesn't take that long. It's a cool puzzle. It's nice to see the different generations. That random thing, it's amazing because like again, as much as I was like, oh, those cards are great, it always seems to be a combination. At least give you a chance if you just kind of let. These Prelude cards are strong. I mean, there are not many bad cards here. This is like 21 money, 3 cards, and a Mars Euro. The ones that give you cities aren't that great for solo. But even that said, I mean, look, this city here, I mean, look at the money production that gave me because I was able to really have my cake and eat it too, so to speak, and getting both sides of that lake where you get those little pockets where you're getting, hey, 2 plants and 6 money, a plant and 4 money, or it really, really adds up. And look, I had 8 Mars Euro left in my bank. Now 3 of that was a rebate. So really I had 5 Mars Euro left in my bank. If I had 6 less Mars Euro, I would not have been able to do what I did in that last round. So it does come down to those little things here and there, remembering your bonuses. I'm glad I checked the board at the point I did because clearly I had messed myself up and did not give that little Mars Euro bump, but Terraforming Rating bump. But you know what? It is what it is. It's relaxing. It's cool. Definitely recommend it for a solo game. And as much as I don't understand why it's so beloved, I do appreciate what it is as a game, and I do appreciate what it meant to me and my gaming group for a long time. And it's a cool game to have and to bring it out once in a while. A little bit nostalgia, even though it's not that old. But I guess in the board game world, it feels ancient the way games come out these days, right? But that's it. I'm rambling long enough, and you all are great for hanging with me. I will be back next week with something else. and we'll probably get back to Maze Knight or Spirit Island or Arkham or something else. Just check it out. Again, my Patreon page, you can check out the upcoming schedule. I make a public post at the beginning of every month. Any questions, comments, epiphanies, please put them in the comment section below, and I will get back to you. And until next time, happy gaming.